This is a great exercise for strengthening the lungs, but it's a little bit tricky to get the idea of when you're starting. It has many names across the different yoga traditions: fire breath, shining skull breath, bellows breath, um, dynamic breath, and various different Sanskrit names as well. But essentially it's all the same. And it comes from a pumping of the diaphragm. So essentially we want to do it through the nostrils, but a good way to find it first off when you're learning is to breathe through the mouth, and the focus is on the exhalation. So imagine that you have a birthday cake in front of you with just a single perfect candle on it burning, and wanting to grant your wish, if only you could blow it out like that. So you'd purse your lips and take quite a sharp breath out like that. And you might notice as you do it that your diaphragm responds quite strongly. It'll draw in. So you can find your diaphragm and your abdominal muscles by placing your hand just kind of around your low ribs there. So you're placing your hand there, and then you imagine your birthday cake and your candle, and you purse your lips and you blow the candle out. So you see that my belly does a little jump, goes back in. And the out breath kind of looks after itself. You might need to put a little bit of attention on it to start with, because you're learning and you focus on the out breath and you can get lightheaded. So maybe you yeah, but after a while it looks after itself. But the focus is down in your diaphragm area, and you want to feel the diaphragm pushing up to push the air out of the lungs. So basically the diaphragm is a dome of muscle that rests at the base of your rib cage. When you breathe in, that dome pushes downwards, and when you breathe out, the dome comes back up. So if you do that with force, you breathe out with force, it's like a little trampoline, like pushing the energy up. And of course the whole rib cage responds, and the intercostal muscles and everything strengthen, and the lungs get a little jolt of release from the very base, because the diaphragm's coming up and giving you a push. Yeah. So once you've got the idea of it, you can move from exhaling through the mouth, that to exhaling through the nostrils. So the mouth is closed. Yeah, so it's a strong snort out. And again, the diaphragm is working. So not the shoulders. The abdominal muscles. Yeah? So you can play around with it. And then once you've got the structure of it, you do it in rounds of repetitions. So you might do 20 pumping breaths and then hold the breath, or perhaps you just take a restorative breath in and out, and then you do another round of 20 and a restorative breath in and out, and perhaps another round. So you could build up to 5 rounds. So you're maybe doing 100 pumping breaths. Maybe you just start initially with doing 10 rounds and a pause, and 10 rounds and a pause. Yeah. But the focus is on the belly. And if you're getting lightheaded, then you're doing it wrong. And you need to focus a little more on the inhalation. So it would perhaps sound a bit more like this. But then after a while, like I said, the inhalations should hopefully start to look after itself. It's very energizing, as long as you're not getting lightheaded. It's very energizing, and it is very strengthening. You feel your abdominal muscles, your diaphragm, your intercostal muscles strengthening. And with this little push, you're giving your organs of respiration a massage. So it's a good exercise to try and get your head round, and to maybe incorporate into a daily routine. So you could do a few rounds of this pumping breath, and then a few rounds of the alternate nostril balancing breath that I've described in another video. And then perhaps you sit in meditation, or perhaps you sit and do your beginning opening yoga practice or whatever. So the breath exercise is a really good way of controlling energy, connecting to the physiology, switching nervous system response. You know, are you in the stress response of the sympathetic, or are you in the more relaxed response of the parasympathetic? You can manipulate that to your own ends. Yeah, so really good to know these things. Very basic, simple breath technology that's been handed down through the centuries from people who were a little wiser than us, perhaps, about some things. Okay, give it a try.